Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good late afternoon to everybody here on the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis coming right back at you with another heavy hitter with yet another video. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Make sure you guys are sharing this on your social medias platforms. I truly appreciate that. How is everybody doing? Usually I'm always putting the intro when I'm starting the video. It's too important for me to even put an intro out, considering what happened today. And what happened today was the NBA games got canceled today. Starting with the Bucks against the Magic. Salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Chopstick. He first said the GOAT Melo was going to go 50 today. I know you meant the Lakers. Yeah, he meant the Lakers, Jay. That's what he was talking about. I don't want them to, but they need to cancel the season. Shout out to Shane Bowers, man. Appreciate you coming through. I believe Chopstick was talking about the 50. Shout out to Karan. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to you guys coming through right now. So today was supposed to be 3 games. Bucks and the Magic, the Rockets and the Thunder, which was the game that I was going to do, guys. And then we have the Lakers and the Blazers. That was supposed to be later tonight at 9. And shout out to Jermaine as well. Appreciate you coming through the stream. So now let me tell y'all this now. And shout out to Brandon Nicholson, man. I appreciate you. So let me ask y'all, is Kyrie crazy now? Is Kyrie Irving crazy now? Because you look at these 3 teams right here. Jacob Blake, ladies and gentlemen, lost his life. Got shot 7 times in the back in Wisconsin in front of his kids. It's disgusting because he got shot in front of his own children. The man was only 29 years old. That just stings, man. That just stings. You know, it's absolutely disgusting. Yet a lot of people are pissed off because there's no sports today. Like I said before, sports comes second before humans. Absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So originally what happened was the Orlando Magic were set to play the Bucks at 4. They were already on the court where the Orlando Magic. The Bucks decided not to come out because Mike Budenholzer yesterday, when Giannis won the Defensive Player of the Year award, had mentioned about the victims that have recently passed away, right? And shout out to Spotlight Sports Network. It's bigger than sports right now. It is bigger than sports. So I guess Kyrie Irving isn't too crazy now because they were saying that all Kyrie was trying to do was sabotage the season. But now the Milwaukee Bucks decided to sit. They decided to not. Milwaukee gave up the game. I believe the victory went to the Orlando Magic. So they got the game due to forfeit. When Orlando found out that Milwaukee did not come out of the locker room, they had to come off the court. So then I prepared this OKC Houston game to see if they were actually going to play. But no, they decided to boycott the game too. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook actually were seen together, planning to boycott the game. And then the Lakers and Blazers followed suit, and they decided to boycott their game too. I said this months ago. I enjoy doing these NBA live streams. I enjoy, giving basketball coverage for these basketball teams, especially the small market teams that don't get recognition like the big markets do in the sports media. I enjoy doing them. But at the same time, it's bigger than basketball. This is about human life. It's bigger than the game. And he also said that the WNBA also boycotted, which is all right. But here's the thing that I want to know now, though, because I remember Fred VanVleet. This all started with the Celtics and the Raptors. They were talking about boycotting their Eastern Conference semifinals game 1. Shout out to Ron. Appreciate you coming through. Also, George Hill has been an advocate speaking. He said a couple of days ago, we should have not even come to this bubble. And what I was hearing also was that families were going to be allowed to come into the bubble starting the second round of the playoffs. The reason that I'm not sold on this whole boycotting is for this reason and this reason only. What if these players decide to play 2 or 3 days later? All that tells me is no change was really made. If these players really want to make change, they need to leave Orlando right now. They need to leave Orlando right now. If they really are about the change, they need to leave Orlando. If it's bigger than the game of basketball, they need to leave Orlando. Karan says, I'm disgusted of what's going on in this world today, man. We still have cop shootings, man, and it really needs to stop. We keep talking about how these players have the platform. And the reason I have this thumbnail right now is because it's what I'm showing you guys. There was supposed to be 3 games today. Bucks and the Magic, Rockets and Thunder, and then Lakers and Blazers. All of those games have been canceled today, and tomorrow's games have also been postponed as well. I don't know when those games are going to happen. And I also heard that baseball, some teams are already on strike due to the shooting of Jacob Blake. And they plan to protest as well. I heard that the Detroit Lions canceled practice today. The only fear that I also have of this, because it happened, and I don't know the full details of the whole Jacob Blake situation. All I know is the man got shot 7 times in his back when he was going inside his car. He is paralyzed from the waist down, so now he will never be able to walk again, which is very sad. And he got shot in front of his 3 kids. So the good news is he's alive. The bad news is he can't walk. I told people months ago that these NBA games should have never happened. They never should have happened at all. And the reason I said that is because if something like this was going to happen again, do you honestly believe that putting slogans on jerseys is really going to spread awareness? It's not. I told you this is about money because you're putting a slogan on a jersey. That's really more so about sponsorship. If the players have the platform like they do, right now what they need to do is they need to leave the bubble of Orlando and forget about the season, because now I heard that the NBA season is in jeopardy. And who do you think that's going to upset more than anybody? It's going to affect the TV media, the media networks. They're going to be pissed off about this. You don't think that also the sports owners are also going to be upset about this too? They're going to be upset about it because of all the money that's lost. Now they're going to lose even more because there's no games going to be played. And I'm saying this about the players. If they decide to play 2 or 3 days later, they're all hypocrites. I'm sorry. They're all hypocrites. Yep. Jermaine says, I know I've been busy, but I try to break bread with y'all, man. Where I can, one of my favorite channels. All right, man. Shout out to Anthony L, man. What's good with you, man? What's good with the chat? Kyrie Irving, I guess, isn't so crazy now. So I was watching TV. I see Kendrick Perkins on TV. They asked about, the games being boycotted. So the Milwaukee Bucks decided to boycott the game. Kendrick Perkins wanted to find out some things about, this boycott. Then he starts to mention about the Lakers, OKC, and the Houston Rockets. Now you're asking yourself, Lewis, why would Kendrick Perkins mention that? Kendrick Perkins has got boys. Your boys of CP3, Russ, James Harden, LeBron James. So then when they decide to boycott, Kendrick Perkins says, oh, those players made the right decision. So let me get this straight. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo is your defensive player of the year, because Giannis Antetokounmpo is likely going to be the MVP, because Giannis Antetokounmpo is a player that Kendrick Perkins does not like, along with Kevin Durant, along with Kawhi Leonard, because they're all a threat to LeBron James, you want to find out if the Lakers and the Thunder and the Rockets are all going to get condemned if they decide to play. Well, what do you think is going to happen, Kendrick Perkins? Come on, dog. Come on, seriously? Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks said no. The Celtics and Raptors were the first team to start this. They were already talking about boycotting. People can say what they want, but I said this from the jump. These players are symbolism for entertainment. These players are symbolism for entertainment. I'm going to tell you right now, if they really want to push for change, they should not play. They should not play if they really want to do this. Shout out to Ron. He says, with all due respect to everything, it's that all the protesting that's been going on for decades actually turned into something that has an end game to really affect change. Here's what I'm saying, man. Of course, Stephen A was going to be mad about the postponement. Of course. This is what I'm basically telling everybody. I told everybody from the jump. Just because you tag Black Lives Matter on a basketball court, on a jersey, what is that doing if there's still killings going on in today's society? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've told people this time and time again. I've said it, man. Like I said, I love the game of basketball. I love football. I love baseball. I love it. My point is, I told y'all that there's bigger things than basketball. I remember Freddie Gee was on here and said that the players shouldn't be playing, and I still remember that when he said that back a couple of months ago. And he kept coming to the lives and he said, yo, they shouldn't be here. Fred VanVleet said we shouldn't be here. George Hill said we shouldn't be here. Notice, these players that don't get enough recognition in the NBA are talking about how they should not be here. And that's my point. Listen, man, I said this before and I say this again. I don't care who wins this NBA title, whether it's the Houston Rockets, whether it's the Milwaukee Bucks. If OKC made a miraculous Cinderella Disney run to the championship, if it's the Lakers, the Magic, whoever, I don't care. I said this in the beginning and I'm saying it right now. Whoever wins this championship is an asterisk. I don't give a damn what anybody says. It's an asterisk. Don't come with me where everybody had to be quarantined and this and that. Those players should not be down there. They shouldn't be. And I said that from the beginning. But guess what? They went down there, obviously, because that's out of my control. I could say whatever I want to say, but I'm not going to affect the decision or the outcome. I'm sorry, man, but let me just check the rest of the chat because I've missed some comments. Shout out to Sports Critic. What's up, man? 2020 has been one hell of a year. Facts. Shout out to Freddie Gee. That's right, man. Appreciate you coming through. I'm sorry, man. I've been saying it. Jermaine says, I think that's what the end game is, to get these rich white big wigs to make moves. We as black folks can't. So messing with their money is the best way to get everybody's attention. And that's it. And I'm telling you, this is what's gotten them pissed off. This is what should have happened back in March. This is what should have happened back in March and April. Why did it wait all the way to freaking the end of August to finally have something to be said? That's what I don't understand. That's my point. Jay says, man, shout out to Big Lou, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you, Jay. As always. What is up? Lakers fan says, if there's not vaccine for COVID, will every championship be considered? Will every championship be considered an asterisk? I said it from a long time ago. It's an asterisk no matter who wins this thing. Because just look at the circumstances. All these players have complained about no fans. Look at Paul George the other day. Paul George just yesterday has talked about saying that he deals with anxiety. I didn't know that Paul George dealt with anxiety. He said that he was in a dark place. And big ups to Paul George for admitting that he deals with anxiety. I didn't know that about Paul George. Oh, how about the emotional speech that Doc Rivers gave last night after the Clippers won over the Dallas Mavericks? I wasn't too crazy about the resumption of the season. I wasn't crazy about it from the beginning, man. People are so crazy just because they want sports. It was already from the get-go. Chris Broussard came out and said that it's been weird. I said it's been weird. But listen, man, like the guy that I am, I just come and deliver the content. You know, because at the end of the day, I enjoy sports and I like watching basketball, but I understand that human life is just important. Because what I want people to understand is if you're fans of these players and you look at them as a way to, as them as a role model for you, because you don't really have a role model anywhere else, like, you know, in your environment, like as a family member or a close friend or a teacher or anything like that, if you don't have that and you decide to have a role model, fine. But what happens when that role model ends up passing away and they happen to be one of your favorite athletes? So first of all, I'm proud of the Boston Celtics. I'm proud of the Toronto Raptors in discussion, but I'm proud of the Milwaukee Bucks taking action. Giannis Antetokounmpo came out and took action along with that Milwaukee Bucks team. Mike Budenholzer was talking about it yesterday. I'm glad what the players are doing right now. It's time for a change, and the time is now. This should have happened. This should have happened months ago. Months ago. Shout out to Peyton Dior. Appreciate you coming through. Hope everybody's good. Loving how my people in non-races coming together for a common cause, man. Baby steps. I don't care how long it's going to take. We got to start somewhere, man. We got to start somewhere. Again, guys, make sure y'all share this to all social media platforms. Make sure you guys like the video as you guys come in. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, that's fine with me. If you don't want to, I'm fine with that too. It's just I'm here talking about what's important right now. I told you from the beginning, Anthony L's been saying it, Jay's been saying it, the other Jay's been saying it, Freddie G's been saying it. Everybody's been saying it. Juanetta, everybody that have been, you know, rocking with the channel and been saying it. I said this a long time ago. They should have never even decided to start this season again, man. They never should have did it. If America doesn't care about the black, then America doesn't deserve to enjoy our talents. They want us to dribble the ball and entertain, but they won't produce justice. And that's my point right there. Anthony just said. That's the point. I said it before, that these athletes are symbolism for entertainment, and that's what these people want. You really want to make change? Put a stop to their pockets, and you'll see that they're going to have no choice but to start making changes in America. It's getting ridiculous and it's getting out of hand. No matter what the conspiracy theorists or whatever want to believe, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, it's done. It's done. This is why I said for people who were criticizing Kyrie Irving, is he looking crazy now? I don't think so. Is Kyrie Irving looking crazy? Maybe he didn't use the right wording. Maybe it sounded like he didn't have a plan. But look at Kyrie speaking out, being the vice president of the Players Association. You see there? The Mariners and the Padres game got postponed. You know why, Karam? Because now baseball teams also, as I mentioned, they also said that they're going to protest. That's why those games are getting postponed. You don't think that Rob Manfred is going to be very happy about this? He's going to be pissed off about it because he did everything he can to try to save their season, knowing how much money he was going to lose. And look, now they're canceling. Do you know how many teams this season have gotten postponed with the games? The only thing that I'm telling you about these NBA players is if these guys play 2 or 3 days later, they're gonna all look like hypocrites. I'm telling y'all right now. This all looks good, but I'm telling y'all right now. I've known Paul George had anxiety because after he got injured, I just knew something was up. Yeah. Shout out to Clay Pro, man. That stupid screen with those fuzzy faces. Are you talking about this screen right here? I'm telling you, man. I was raised during all these movements, and I was 10 when the riots broke out in Jersey, and it's time that all the activists and movements be accompanied by a plan. Yeah, man. Yeah. Freddie says, I wasn't feeling the starter from the beginning. I had to get back into the basketball spirit when they hit up the bubble. And listen, man, listen, Freddie, I feel you on that, man. I feel you. It's cool it's cool to think that way. It's cool to feel that way. The thing is that what basketball was doing, man, was trying to affect the minds from all of a sudden, say, man, things are gonna be all right because sports is back. No, things were never gonna be okay. Sports is always a way to distract. It's all about sponsor. It's all about brand. It's all about marketing. When they put these hashtags, Black Lives Matter, do they really think Black Lives Matter? That's what I'm trying to say, man. And Brandon Nicholson says, yeah, man, I feel you, man. Human life and decency is much more important than a game. Exactly. Exactly, Brandon. Exactly. Jay says, shout out to the other Jay. I know what he meant. Bucks were the first team to take a stand, and he mentions a player dropping 50. That player was also playing that late game. People more worried about basketball, including, well, that's what I'm saying. Sports, well, they need to arrest those damn cops, man. I like what the WNBA is doing. Shout out to Anonymous, man. Appreciate you coming through as well. You know what? Listen, man, I know that all cops are not bad, so I'm not gonna be here. The thing is, the bad cops are making good cops look bad. That's kind of the problem, man. My only fear of this, though, as well, though, is I don't want this to lead to riots. That's what I don't want this to lead to. If the NBA players can find a way to do this peacefully, and it doesn't cause an uproar in society, hopefully they can model the example of what peaceful protesting is, which some of the players have done already. Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon. It's a shame that those guys don't get enough props for what they did during the time of the death of George Floyd. It's a shame that they don't get enough recognition for that. It's really, really, really sad. But we're talking about other things that distract us, man. My thing is, it's just much more important because, like I said, if any of these players happen to, get sick or happen to lose their career, it's like you're going to be upset because now that player can't play no more for your franchise. I said, well, because think of it this way, guys. People are talking about how they want to see basketball and all this. How many of these players, of these athletes, the majority of these black athletes that play in basketball pretty much that make up 80, 75, 80, 85% of the league have been disrespected, by racist remarks by fans in the stands. I mean, look at Russell Westbrook, for example, and the type of racism he's faced. So what I'm saying is that they care so much about these players playing, but it's like, are they going to address the racism? Because some of these organizations be giving like these like slap on the wrist, and it's like, no, a fan was very disrespectful to a player who plays to entertain you, because you could talk about how much they pay the Bucks to see you play, yeah, but it's like if they're entertaining you, there's no need for you to get personal. You can speak your mind without getting like totally disrespectful, though. Like, especially saying things that are out of line. Are they going to address that? But no, all these other guys are just focused on getting everybody to play. The Lakers fan says the NBA ratings have been tanking. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got racist whites boycotting sports because of protesting, man. They're calling all over America. How about doing everything we can to save black lives? The hell with doing everything we can to save the season. My thing is, though, I'm trying to speak for everybody, because what I'm noticing is that Native Americans have probably suffered it longer than anybody. Blacks have just been the most recent, and then it's trickled down all the way down to all minorities. I want peace for everybody. I want peace for everybody. Black lives, they definitely matter. So do Native Americans' lives. So do lives of other minorities too. And I'm just sick of all the. I'm just done with all the killings, man. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm really sick and tired of it. This is just sad, man. The fact that that buck dancing clown Kendrick Perkins came on TV and talking about, oh, I gotta find out why the Milwaukee Bucks, why they protesting, because I don't want it to condemn the Lakers and the Thunder and the Rockets, if they was playing, so that if they decide to play, that they get criticized. What you think was gonna happen, fool? Because they play after. But then when they cancel because you have boys on your team, oh yeah, the NBA and the players, man, they made the right decision. This is why Kendrick Perkins is such a goddamn clown. Such a goddamn clown. It's ridiculous, man. Are you from Brick City? Oh wow. What do you think about this upcoming election? Biden ain't it? I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not big on Biden, honestly. I'm not big on Trump. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's just bad. They all had it, man. Everybody. It's just nuts. I'm talking about the ones that have been mistreated, not the ones that own slaves. So let's not get it twisted. Like, I'm not trying to say that, man. I'm talking about that stupid screen with the fans in the back and all their faces looking like N64. Oh, yeah. I feel you. Oh, you mean the virtual stuff, Clay? I got you, man. Oh, I've been to South Orange. I wish I was on a fly on the wall to listen and hear everything these owners have to say behind closed doors. Yeah, man. If I had the ability to be like Ant-Man, I would love to do that. I think. Listen, man. I'm not big on Biden, honestly. I'm not. Yeah, I agree with Freddie on that. Anything that you could possibly think of, they're saying it. But it's true, man. Voting is voting against. He has nothing good. Like I said, I'm not big on him. Did you go to West Side High? I went to, oh, wow, class of 93. Anonymous says, yo, do you notice that the NHL has been real quiet on this? It's weird. Yeah, because football, like I said, Lions cancel practice. Baseball players and MLB teams are actually protesting. And then we saw what everybody else did. Yeah, exactly, man. Jay says all white cops are a problem. Either they're using excessive force, using the gun, or and the others do those watching the others do actions. Many white cops are on the same page and won't go against each other. But that's why I also said that that white cops are going against white. I shouldn't just say white, but what I'm basically saying is that bad cops are making good cops look bad. So yeah, it is whites because this is what we mostly see on TV. This is what we mostly see on social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, any type of social media platform. We see it. Salute you, man. Salute. I love how Lewis put that. I wish more people will understand that this isn't just a black thing. It's all minorities, man. We all go through this. That's what I'm just saying, man. I'm just getting real sick and tired of it, bro. I'm getting real sick and tired of it. Why do you think that they're pushing the vaccine to start even with the blacks and Hispanics in the first place? They're treating us like lab rats. Tyree says I disagree with the boycott. I think I understand where you're coming from. And shout out to Tyree. I haven't seen you, man. How's your kid doing? Hope everything is good with you. I understand. The only way that I'm going to disagree with it, Tyree, and it's because I said this. If those players get back on the court and start playing the NBA bubble, and a lot of these people start cheering because the players are back on the court playing to try to spread change and all that, that's when I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, y'all hypocrites, man. Y'all hypocrites. I don't ever want to hear talking about all these guys on TV in their commercials talking about, oh yeah, we're spreading change and we're letting people know what's going on around the world, that this isn't right and that we want change. That's a bunch of bull, and y'all know it. Y'all know it. Like I said, I enjoy sports, but I don't want to hear that nonsense talking about you're boycotting. The boycotting better lead to something. Because if I see these players on the court, I'm telling you, I'm not. Listen, I don't look. I'm at the point where I don't even care who wins the championship. I don't give a damn about that. That doesn't matter. I don't care about the World Series. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I don't care about that. This needs to get fit. I'm not saying that this is going to completely get fixed, but this has got to start to lead to somewhere. We got to start small somewhere. If this is the case, then it needs to lead to something. Because what I don't want to see is all these players, quote unquote, boycotting, and then 2 days later, yes, playoff basketball has returned. I'm telling you right now, this championship, I don't care who wins it, Kawhi, LeBron, Giannis, whoever, it is an asterisk, no matter which way you want to spin it. I don't care how much you want to spin the narrative. This championship is an asterisk. Why do you think people are so upset that when it gets canceled? Because they know that certain players are not going to have an opportunity to win a championship, so they could go on YouTube, so they could go on social media and brag about how their player did this, and I told you this and this and this. That just lets me know that they're so brainwashed with sports that they don't realize, wake up, and look at the big picture. That's what's really sad. Oh, it's an act. The owners are wishing and praying that we were still in the gym. They have to be more deceiving in this day and age with it. Oh, yeah, they are deceiving because they make it seem like if they're with all their players in terms of standing up, but they know that they don't want to be a part of this. They hate it because they know that it's affecting their money. That's pretty cool that we got two Jersey people, man, Ron and Jermaine. But Lou is right though. Native American has suffered the most more than any other minority race in America. The reason I'm saying that, Jay, is because we have to understand something. If we go beyond that, because I'm not talking about the Native Americans that have owned slaves, because you have to also remember that even blacks have owned black slaves too. What I'm talking about is the ones that have been oppressed, and I'm talking about Native Americans, the ones that have been oppressed. They have been oppressed longer than even blacks. But what I'm also telling you is that it's important because now blacks are the modern Native Americans. It's just happening now, as long as this has. And again, it's going to trickle down to the other minorities too. And it's like nobody deserves this. Nobody. Yeah. And the thing is, if you look at a lot of the black players in the NFL, all of the owners are white. There's no black owner in the NFL. Remember when I asked you, I was like, how many head coaches are in the NFL? There's barely any coaches. How many GMs are there in the NFL? How many owners are there in the NFL? It's crazy how there's not enough people right there, like in the front office, man. This is real talk, man. Yo, salute to Brandon Rogers, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Go make sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't, to Brandon Rogers. Yeah, the NHL's been very quiet. It's true. You wonder why they've been quiet. That's a good question, Anthony. Good question. Oh no, I'm saying both ways, Freddie. But I'm talking about the oppressed ones. I'm telling you, it goes back, man. I agree, Lewis. If they're gonna boycott, they need to do it 100% all the way, not just for one game. As a matter of fact, Kyrie Irving, if you're listening to me out there, the Milwaukee Bucks have set the blueprint along with the Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. Nobody was listening to you a couple of months back. They thought you were crazy. They thought you were an idiot. They thought that all you were doing was trying to sabotage the NBA and prevent some of these teams from trying to win a championship. That's what they thought. But now, and check this out. They're boycotting this during the playoffs. Check that out. White cops stand around and allow it. All are a problem. Can't be good white cops when they're watching the others act. No, it's true. I listen, I'm not saying that I don't agree with you, but at the same time, what's going to happen is that Basically, if they go against it, it's kind of almost like breaking the code. All right, Tyrese says, I disagree because they are under contract and should abide by the contract. Also, boycotting your job about a topic that doesn't concern your employer is ridiculous. Let me think about that real quick. Tyree disagrees because they're under contract and they should abide by the contract. Also, boycotting your job about a topic that doesn't concern your employer is ridiculous. I kind of see where you're coming from, Tyree. I kind of see where you're coming from. And I understand that those guys are under contract. But remember what the media does also. They talk about how these players speak out. They talk about how these guys are such a major platform that they're able to speak on all these things going on. That's right. They are under contract, which is going to make the owners really pissed because according to the owners, they should be trying to play basketball and make money because they're getting paid to do it. So they're making it look like this way. Think about this. If they don't play, the owners could just come back and say, I don't have to pay you if they're not in support of this. Jay says it starts hitting the white corporation pocketbooks when they start losing money, then you're going to see the change. And that's the point and despite the fact that they're on the contract, okay, so let's say that they decide some way that they could terminate the contract. But now what if they can't really make money? Because now they don't have that they don't have entertainment to be able to make money. Lou, the NBA Nike trying to come off as being woke, but the players are only going to speak out or protest only to a certain extent. They just posturing. Which is why, Ron, which is why I said that to me, that this is all to me, it's going to be full of nonsense. It's going to be nonsense if they come back and play. Because Stephen A. Smith came out and he agreed. He came out and he agreed. He was like, oh, that the players are speaking out and all this kind of stuff, and I'm in full support. No, you're not. No, you're not. Sit your bug dancing clown ass down, man. You're not a support. Please. And usually, listen, man, I always try to keep it professional, but it's like I just get enraged. It enrages me to just see what's going on. I feel like sometimes also in a way, but notice like I forgot who mentioned it, but NHL's been quiet about it. It almost makes it seem like if these if these major sports platforms use this as an opportunity, like I said, I don't want this to turn into another situation like what happened with George Floyd. I don't, because something like this could start to happen once again, and I don't want that. So, like I said, if they go back out and play basketball, it's basically saying, oh, we were just going to mention about, how it's important to, just let people know that this isn't right and we're not going to play. My question is, how long is this going to last before they get back on the court again? This is just going to be for a brief moment, in my personal opinion, and they're going to go back, man. If you are protest of the people that you are wanting change from, which is the police department, so go protest there and make changes in the law to better your people. This goes beyond the police, man. It goes to the government too. Notice how these dudes are always quiet when it comes to the police force. This goes beyond that. It goes beyond the police. I mean, we could start there, but it also has to go to the government because, like I said, the government is always hickety hush about this. Every single time in the news, we always got to hear something depressing. Then it becomes, congratulations to this person who got to live to 102 years old. And then it goes back to depressing news again. This is the pattern. Let me read something from Bleacher Report that I saw a comment from. Let me just see where it's at. No, it wasn't with Kenny Smith. It was, I'm trying to see where it was at. You see, now they're saying that the Raptors and the Celtics may boycott. I mean, come on now. If the other three teams do it and then you decide not to boycott, remember, you guys were the ones that brought it up. Now you're considering not to boycott. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The Celtics and the Raptors were in discussion, but Milwaukee Bucks decided to open the blueprint. Now the Celtics and Raptors, they may do it. What does that mean? That if they don't do it, what was all this boycott meaning? What was all this boycott for? The government put cameras on everything. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to read Anthony L's comment. I'll get to you, Anonymous, in a second. Every other marginalized groups in America have received some form of reparations, man. We're still waiting on ours. The government put cameras on everything so they could watch how we live, and it's backfiring now because that's how all this police BS has been going on forever, and it's being exposed. And yet the government stays quiet about it and make excuses. That's what I've always said. The sad thing is racism will never completely be gone, and no matter how much video evidence there is as a whole, white are always going to have the advantage, as in white privilege. Again, shout out to Brandon Rogers. Facts, Freddie Gee. I've been saying this on my Anchor podcast. Oh, about Micah Johnson? Oh, yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. The NHL is quiet because it's a white league. Ding. Cops are under oath to protect and serve the public. The Constitution is a contract, too. To be honest, man, I've been saying this about the Constitution. That joint is BS, too. Let me ask y'all. When they started with the Articles of Confederation, when they came out with the 27th Amendments of the Constitution, who is it really benefiting? Because if we have the right to freedom of speech, if we have the right to bear arms, if we have the right to vote, then why is this still, going on? If we have, oh no, I agree with you, man. No, it's a broken system. I'm just saying by what they go by. This is the excuse that they're going to make, but the system is broken. It's been broken for a long time. I'm loving the chat because we have different opinions on this. It allows everybody to speak their mind as long as we keep it. Well, you start your own league. Remember what Kyrie said about starting a league? I said if they're able to do it, it's going to take some time, but if dudes were to keep quiet about it, put their money together for everything they do. See, if it was me, I would do this very quietly and basically throw it as a surprise. Because what would happen is if you're telling somebody that you're planning to do something, you're really trying to pull through, especially if they don't want to see you go with that plan, they'll do everything in their power to make sure that you don't successfully complete that plan. Because what white owners fear is if blacks will have their own league when it comes to sports, or basically have their own form of government. That's the fear. They want to make sure that everything is suppressed and under control. Players do need money, but let's be real honest. We could talk about how the owners pay the checks. We could talk about how the fans come pay for the concessions and everything. But remember, you're not making money if you have no entertainment neither. So it's a cycle. It's all revolving. You need everything for everything to work. For the owner to be able to see money come in, you need fans buying merchandise. You need fans paying for food and drinks. You need them to be sitting at courtside, especially for those rich people that sit at courtside and pay $2,000 to $3,000 per seat, depending on what game it is, depending on the time period. And then most importantly, you need the entertainment out on the floor. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. We've had enough entertainers and athletes with a lot of money. They don't need the white. It's true. How much money has been made over the years? People that have been retired from the entertainment business, people who have been invested. I'm not talking about give you a life savings, man, but a small donation for everybody. It's crazy how all these rich celebrities and athletes and actors have all this money, but all they do is sit back on Twitter, sit back on Instagram, and talk about all these changes that need to be made. Yet they're sitting comfortably in their seat with their kids, listening to music, making sure that people pay attention to make sure that what they're doing with their lives, when most of the time they're not really going to give a flying F about you unless if you say something that's going to get their attention. Because celebrities are just as big a problem as the athletes are. Players don't need basketball. It's a game that they can't play forever, man. Owners will make money on their deathbed because people got to remember a lot of these owners in all of these sports, they have other businesses. So they make investments in other businesses. How do you think they're still making their money? It's just that the biggest platform that they have is the job that they're known for, which is like whatever sports team that they own. But they got other businesses, man. So they're never running out of money. They're just upset because their money's being messed with, but they still have a lot of money. They still got a lot of money. That's the problem. The sports is nothing but a distraction to shift your focus away, man. But that's my problem, man. The black on black crimes is still happening. Blacks on other people, man. It's like everybody's putting crime on one another. We're all treating each other. And does the government pay attention to that? No, they're just ignoring it. There's a lot of crime on one another, and people are still brainwashed and still don't realize it. That's an interesting take, Tari. I notice how they list is sometimes, but I never see European and girl like y'all not from here neither. Right. If other teams don't boycott, then that tells me that they're scared of the outcome. Yeah, of course they're scared of the outcome. Of course. Of course they're scared. It's about the economy. That's what they're cared about. Because remember, the economy is the most important thing. It's not about socialism. There's a better way for us to go about this. Protesting your employer that does not look like you is not going to solve anything. Okay. I mean, I respect what you're coming from. Karam says, "Did you see some parts of the Doc Rivers post game interview?" Yeah, I did see it. He got very emotional. I saw some part of it last night. Like I said, it sounds all great, but my question is, what's going to be done about it? Because they're all going to look like hypocrites if they decide to only sit for like 2 days and decide to play again, and then come on TV and say that this is the way that we need to spread the message, like these stupid media pundits have been doing for years and years now. That we need to spread the message. How long have we been spreading the message and it's still not getting through? Do you understand that? They know what's going on. It seems to me that with the sensitivity of police brutality against blacks, that some faction is ordering to do this to cause a riot or something to bring in martial law. I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's right. Three fifths compromise. That's right. There is freedom of speech no more in this PC world. The truth don't matter as long as we don't offend them anybody. That's a good point. Well, that's what I said. We need to unite quietly and go the other way. That's the way to do it. It's like I said before, that's the way we got to do it, man. Speaking of the Constitution, they need to update it to the 21st century way of living because those rules are old and outdated. That's a great point, Jermaine, because we don't even live in those times anymore. There is no freedom of speech anymore. Uh-huh. You're not in the black community. That is still a form of protesting. Freddie, we don't control the money, so I'm sorry. There's never going to be change for our people. You're right. We don't control the money, but I think we should control the money that we have, because there's always a way to start small, Tyree. So I say control the money that you have. That's why when I look at these black celebrities, I'm surprised, especially these liberals. I'm surprised they don't get called out, because all they care about is drama. All they care about is putting on an entertaining show for us to watch and be like, oh, like I look at the whole Will Smith and Jada Smith entanglement. You know, at one point, I respected Will Smith a lot. He was one of my favorite personalities on television. And the way that he's lived his life with Jada Pinkett Smith, I can't say anything because it's his life. It's their marriage. But I'm just looking at it now and I'm realizing that they're part of the problem. They're part of the problem. So what do you plan on doing then? Saying that there will never be change ain't the way to go. Ain't the way to go about it. I'm tired of this black on black crime cliche, man. Black on black crime gets punished, man. But how often does cop on black crime get punished? That's another great point too. That's another great point. And that's the reason that I mentioned the black on black crime, because what I'm basically saying is that makes more news. Well, it doesn't make as much news as you know, a white cop going on a black person. But what I'm trying to get people to understand is that all of this stuff that's happening, if it doesn't get addressed, then it's going to be some way it's going to be, you know, an issue, you know. And it's just sad. It's just sad, man. It's really really sad. I'm tired of it too, Anthony. I'm really tired of the black on black cliche. I really am. The double standard is too real out here. And the reason I keep mentioning black on black crime is because us brothers need to start really waking up and opening our eyes, because the real problem is what's happening when you have police brutality on these people too. Because killing one another isn't going to do anything. The government is just laughing their asses in their seats, looking at you guys. Because the thing is, they continuously make this about racism. They make it about a racial divide. That's why they don't really do anything when it comes to this. Why do you think all these guys, the governors, the mayors, you know, our president, they always talk about this stuff, but nothing's ever really done about it. They always sit there like they're such speech experts, like they're valedictorians, making their infamous speech on what needs to be addressed. And it sounds so beautiful to hear, but nothing ever gets done about it. Yet we got people in our own communities destroying each other. We got police brutality on white cops going on you know, on innocent blacks, innocent minorities. It's ridiculous. Yet the government always finds a way to poo-poo it every single time. Well, that's why, Tyree, when I said we build up our own community, we need to take the money that we invest if we're really going to go that route. We have to start our own community. I've been saying that, man. So I look at it this way. I think what people need to start doing is that if you happen to work in a corporation, what you do is you make sure that you start building, maybe maybe you're going to have to work through the ranks, maybe, depending on what you do, right? But what you're going to have to do is, man, at some point, this is going to have to be about investment at this point. It's going to have to be investment. It's going to have to be research. That's what people need to start doing. It's about really start educating yourselves on like really how to create income. And then once you educate yourself on how to make income, then what you start doing is that you're thinking about, okay, how am I going to create this society where we're going to have to bring peace to ourselves, where we're really trying to spread love and change and appreciate one another. See, that's the next steps that come in. It's everything is going to have to be small planning. Because the thing is, right now in this society, you really can't hit a home run. Because when you try to think about a home run, it's going to be 7 to 10 steps back, because everybody else is going to be looking to knock it down. Especially because there are people in this society who don't agree with what you think, because they think that the right way is what the news is telling you, what the government is telling you, what the people in the media are telling you. It's all brainwash. We had no choice back in the day because we were so poor that a single household couldn't even survive on our own. Once we have more brothers having their own businesses and head of their household, we will see change, and also putting God first. That's a great point, Tyree. That's another thing that doesn't get mentioned enough. I remember Rodney King's daughter. She was when Rodney King obviously, had that situation back in LA. She was basically talking about the type of father that Rodney King was in the household. And now we don't see that enough in today's society. We're just men. Like I said, look, there are intelligent women out there, very smart. There's a lot of intelligent black men too. Just like there's beautiful, intelligent black women, there's a lot of beautiful, intelligent men too. The problem is we're looked at as like gorillas pretty much. Everybody else is like they're all of a sudden victimized because of the black man. Shout out to Toby Bartlett. Appreciate you, man, guys. Continue to hit the like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe if you are new to the channel. Again, share this on your social media because this needs to be talked about. That's the Hollywood lifestyle. Exactly. And everybody loves it. And what is Hollywood, Jermaine? Entertainment. Entertainment. This is why I said education, research, investment. I'm calling it lose ERI. Education, research, investment. Educate yourselves, do your research, really try to understand, and start investing your money. And once you start doing that, you're going to start making a small change. Maybe not big right away, but small change, at least something to get noticed. So Tyree made a great point. We got to build our own community, man. We got to build our community. Anthony L says, I'm tired of this dumbass Chicago narrative too, man. Most of the shootings in Chicago are coming from undercover cops disguised as black men in bodysuits that make you look black. That's another problem. And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm getting real sick and tired of that too. I'm getting real sick and tired of that. This is why I do what I do. This is why I do what I do. We don't hold ourselves accountable for nothing. If we were to hold ourselves accountable, we could start holding the government accountable. But because we don't hold ourselves accountable and put ourselves against one another, that's why the government isn't ever going to do anything. And people need to see that this is part of their plan. This is part of the plan. It upsets me every single time I have to see a sad story. I'm saying to myself, why can't I see something positive for once? It's to the point that I just don't watch the news because it's like I hear every single story, man. It just breaks my heart every time. If you try to start big in this society in today's day and age, they're gonna look to knock you down. You got to do your moves in silence. You got to do your moves in silence. And that's a great point. We need to start investing in ourselves, man. We need to start investing in ourselves because the government isn't going to do that for us. And isn't going to do that for us. And that's another problem with if you look at the poverty in this country, you look at poor Hispanics and poor blacks and a lot of these poor minorities, they depend on the government so much. It's made them very lazy. It's made them very lazy. And it's not everybody in society, because there are nice people out there. Of course, I'm not gonna sit here and try to say, oh, everybody's this. But there's people who you know that you see out there, and you're like, why is it that you guys never try to, try to do better for themselves? You ever look at a person and you say, man, this dude or this female, this chick, man, she's capable of doing so many things in this world, but they waste it because they become dependent on a government that isn't going to do jack shit for you. They're not. The way they talk about Chicago, you would think that they're the worst city in America, not even top 5 when it comes to murder, man. The media is powerful. That's why you gotta kind of ask yourselves, what is the most powerful entity? Is it money or is it the media? That's kind of becoming my next question, because they keep saying that that money's the root of all evil, which is what I've always heard. But it's kind of saying to yourself, what's more evil? Is it the money or is it the media? We can't have our own businesses if we can't get the education. The loans are much less survivable, which is why I said E. That's the first thing we got to start doing, educating ourselves. It's like we're lacking teachers, man. Yo, shout out to Tyree, man. Appreciate you. Hope your kid is doing great. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. And listen, whether we agree or disagree, I enjoyed your input. That was great. It's always great to always hear different perspectives, because it's always good to hear that. It's always good to hear it from one another, man. This is how we learn from one another. That's how we learn. People could say what they want about Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie Irving needs to be owed an apology to now. Whether you love or you hate Kyrie with a passion because of what he did to your boy, y'all know who I'm talking about. The bottom line is, or whether what Kyrie did to the Boston Celtics, or what Kyrie was doing in Brooklyn before he got injured, whatever the case may be with Kyrie Irving needs to be owed an apology. The 2 men that Anthony L just mentioned, they owed an apology, man. We need to demand change, man. Tired of hearing about this. It's embarrassing, and it's true. What is going to be done? We don't. Obviously, we don't know. It's crazy that a lot of these celebs, for some reason, just choose to not part of be the solution. And Freddie Gee says, man, and Karam, you're speaking absolute facts, bro. Freddie Gee says, nah, man, Kyrie is the man. LOL at Big Lou. It takes a real one to tell their job to F you, man. We need actions for these social injustices. I couldn't agree more, Freddie. I never had an issue with Kyrie except for always lusting after snow bunnies. Oh, man. Karam says 2020 needs to end. For real, man. I mean, the funny thing is, man, Toby said, "Oh, he says Lewis, man. D has done a couple of live streams, and again, salute to D, the Godfather Jefferson. Appreciate that, brother, as always. Um, he says he's done a couple of live streams on how he started his businesses and people getting reliant on handouts in the U.S. As you can imagine, it got pretty heated. Oh, I can imagine. But the thing is, D's telling the truth. D's telling the truth. D is telling the truth. It's the truth, man. This this is why I stress that education is important. Whether it's you're getting it in school or whether in life, you got to surround yourself by the right people, man. Because if you don't surround yourself with the right people, it puts you in the wrong path. And the thing is, the ones that are suffering, that are in the on the wrong path, they get satisfaction when they see you suffer with them because their life didn't end up the way that they wanted to. That's why I said that we gotta continue to educate our children, but it has to be done the right way. Because the thing is, even the education system is finding a way to try to twist narratives and want to teach children the wrong way. We have a lot of these children with conditions. And I know it's not easy for parents who have to deal with that because that's very difficult to have to raise, you know. But remember, when you love your kids so much, you're gonna do anything you can for them. The ones that I see that are sitting around saying that their kids don't have anything, like I can't look at that parent and with respect. Now, maybe their life story isn't the same as like other parents because every parent is going to have a different story. But when I see parents, like no matter how much the child may be like a pain, to deal with, like the fact that they're fighting to make sure that their child gets the help that they need, that's a real parent. And I could sympathize and I said, listen, I got nothing but love and respect for you. The fact that you're willing to do anything to help them. Those are the parents that I appreciate, not the ones that are dependent on the government trying to get these, SSI checks and these welfare funds and these food stamps. I just no. Hold on a second. It's been bad enough. Can't reach sack for that. Oh yeah, we need reparations too, man. Everyone else got theirs. How come I don't see your post in the chat? I don't. I hope something isn't wrong on my end. I see it on the screen when Lewis displays your comment, but I don't see it in the chat. That's weird. You might want to check your settings, Anthony L. Maybe it might be something in the settings. Yeah, might want to check your settings. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, if it's just check the content of the person and just probably just see if you can unblock that contact. Like when you go to their channel, I think if you do that, you should be able to see their post inside the chat. As my man Jay just mentioned. But this just lets you know that this, all this, man, is I just never thought. I really hope there's something that's going to be done, something that's looked to. Freddie Geese says, I think I saw his comments somewhere. Just give me a second. He says you probably blocked him by mistake when reviewing his comment or clicking on his profile. I done slipped up a couple of times with that. Like I said, that's probably what it is. So you just gotta. I think you gotta type in their name, go to their channel, then you could just kind of unblock it from there. But that's just sad, man. Man, unbelievable, man. All right, man. Anonymous, take care, man. Always appreciate you coming through. Salute to Lou in the chat. Puppet Face Perkins. Oh, yes. What a damn clown, man. They supposed to be having a meeting as we speak, so I guess we're gonna know in a few hours. Oh, okay. So they decided to meet. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. All right. So it says, all right, no problem, Anthony. Salute to Gideon, aka G Money. Reported that 4 years ago today in a preseason game, Wisconsin, the Kaepernick first to the knee. No, this has never happened before, but I'm sure. Yeah, we need to all just so Chris Webber, I don't know if you guys saw, Chris Webber just gave out an emotional speech right now. I saw Kenny Smith walk out on the set. He wasn't comfortable. I know Shaq and Chuck don't have to do it if they don't want to because it's their choice. I kind of wish that they kind of did though, because it kind of would have showed that they were all together. I know that they have a show to run, but like I said, if this is as powerful as it is, they need to all start doing something, man. I saw Kenny Smith walk out. Now you're probably saying to yourself, that's not going to do anything by Kenny just walking out. It's like I said before. If these guys truly care, if they truly care, this is how you start small. All these players, they can get together. It doesn't have to be public. They can. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even need to be public. They need to just invest their money and start their own league. Just do it quietly. Build your money up until you have enough to start your own league. Stick it to the owners' faces. And I said this many streams ago. Stick it to the owners' faces to let them know that you are not going to control us anymore, and that you know that our skills and is what entertains you and your money, and you know it. But like I said, the owners aren't going to be as affected. They'll be pissed because they want more money. Because remember, for owners, that's just it's not enough. They have enough money. It's not enough for them. They need more. That's what money does, man. It just lets you know it's not enough. I need more. When is too much money never enough? So that's what it is, man. Block context. Yeah, Anthony, it's easy to do. Yeah, it's easy to do. We have to stop playing the victim card and try to get ourselves right, seeking true knowledge. Exactly. Thank you, Ron. That's another problem I have with this society, man. Everybody wants to play the damn victim all the damn time, man. A lot of what's taught in schools, especially history. Yeah, exactly. What they see, they're very slick, because what they try to see. It took me a while to learn this, and then I finally realized I'm like, I'm so listen, I have a Hispanic background. I'm Dominican, but I'm not about to sit here and talk about saying that I'm not going to learn about, history that's happening, like with, different types of races and stuff like that. I was like any other kid, sitting through elementary school, sitting through middle school and through high school, getting the same thing about European history, world history. I got all that. I got all that. And it was the same old thing about the civil rights movement, this, and um, the Renaissance, that, and, about the Chinese dynasties and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all nice to learn. But what about the hidden history that never really gets talked about in schools? I've always wondered that. This is why I'm saying that this is Lou's ERI, man. Educate, research, invest. The ERI plan is what I'm calling it now. Wisconsin police who harmed Jacob Blake should be arrested. There's no reason people should be tormented for no reason. I just, like I said, man, it pains me to see that a black man got shot in the back 7 times by his car in front of his kids and cannot walk anymore, paralyzed from the waist down. Shout out to my man King Julius Caesar, man. If you guys, like I said, are into sneakers, also he does a lot of other good content. He talks about like movies to watch and all these other kind of things. I mean, he's a wrestling fan as well, but he's the homie. Go show him some love and go subscribe to his channel, man. Like I said, guys, make sure to share this video. But again, salute to everybody in the chat, and again, salute to my man Julius, man. Appreciate King Julius Caesar, man. He's a real one. He is a real one. Anthony L. block me. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Salute. Jay says, man, Jacob Blake is about to get paid. Watch, this is going to be one of the biggest lawsuits in U.S. history. Yo, is it me? Jay, you're onto something. You know why? This could become one of the most biggest cases in United States history. Because you best believe this is going to go to the Supreme Court. I bet you this is going to go to the Supreme Court. It needs to, because this was a criminal act. It needs to go to the Supreme Court. I think history could be made. I think the players realize that they have to go hard right now. This is probably the best chance we will have in a long time. You know, I partially agree with that, Jermaine, because here's the reason. We're going to have to understand. We're going to have to see what players are about going hard, like really pushing for the cause, Jermaine, and then which players are going to back out and get cold feet at the last second. Because it goes back to what Tyree was saying and some of the guys in the chat were saying. Who really cares about the repercussions and who doesn't? Because like I said before, the NBA season is possibly in jeopardy with what's going on right now. And I said this a long time ago. The players should have I know Anthony L was preaching for this. Freddie Gee was preaching for this. And I said it. Chris Broussard, like I said earlier, he came out on TV and said, man, this just doesn't look right. It's been weird. I said it. Like I said, for the fans, like for the YouTubers, like I did it because, again, I'm about showing love to the small market teams that the media never are going to show on TV. But at the same time, it's about human beings first, man. Sports second. Just like how they always say family first. Human beings first. How about we go to that model now? That's what it's about, man. Now, I agree with you, Jermaine, that this is the best opportunity. My question is, we're going to have to see their players for who they really are. Who's really willing to step up, and who are the other ones that are going to step back? Then we also have to see if the owners are going to put their money where their mouth is. Mark Cuban is one of those guys, especially when the pandemic happened. Like, who's really going to talk? By the way, yeah, I do remember Jeannie Buss, right? You know, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm wondering if she's ever going to speak out on this. Remember that letter a couple months ago when I did that live stream? You remember? Anthony L was a guest he was a guest on that stream, and I'm pretty sure Anthony remembers that. I'm wondering if she's going to speak out on this. Now, what owners are really going to step up to the plate and speak on this if they really care, if they're for the players? Because like I said before, if the players back out now, I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to have a hard time trusting these dudes for any other type of protest ever again. Actually, no, it's okay. I'm actually partial because I have Puerto Rican descent too. From my dad's side, because my grandfather's Puerto Rican, so I do have some Puerto Rican descent as well. Both of my parents are from DR, but my grandfather from my dad's side is Puerto Rican. So I do have some descent and I do have family members there too. So yeah, I'm a little bit of both. Shout out to my man King Julius Caesar. He says, "Yo, preach, Lewis," and that will create a domino effect, as you can see from other sports are following their lead. This will promote unity to a whole nother level. I just think that the unity really needs to extend into society. This just can't be a sports thing, because if we keep looking at it from a sports level, the people in society are never going to be touched, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Caesar. Again, guys, make sure to go subscribe if you haven't, man. I'm telling you, producing some really good content, and a true brother right there. I'm aggy about people coming to the protest just to cause trouble, like that 17-year-old. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna have to be too much BS in the history books. Oh, facts. It's like those yellow cheat books. It's just skim read with a lot left out. All we need to know: history repeats itself. You don't learn from the past. Those are big facts. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. I'm sure he would rather have his mobility rather than a check, but whatever it takes to get to the mountaintop. Oh, no, of course. But what I'm saying is that I hope that this case really starts to open people's eyes. Big facts, Jay. Always been BS in the history books. That's why I do my own research to educate yourself. That's why I started taking African American courses when I was in college. Because I met a friend in college when I started in community. He would tell me a lot of the stuff that was going on in society, and I was real kind of ignorant, because I was like, maybe this stuff wasn't true. He told me to go try to take a class. I just took a class for the sake of it, just to see what I was going to get out of it. And what did I find out when I took that class? I was more educated about society than I thought, and my eyes open to a lot of stuff that got hidden than I thought that I would ever learn. And I said to myself, well, they mentioned this, but they didn't talk about this or this or this or this. And I'm like, all of this happened? Then I started to research, and I looked up a lot of articles, and a lot of articles were talking about the same thing that I was being taught in class. When I saw this, and I said, wow. I said, I can't believe this. My eyes just opened up. I said, that's crazy, man. And I was like, to think, man, I was going to be I was going to be one of those ignorant people. I decided to be flexible, open my mind. And when I realized what I was reading, what I was seeing on videos, I just said to myself, wow, I can't believe that these dudes make it seem like if the world works with a bunch of textbooks of what they're really telling you in the school system. I said, it's been lies the whole time. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not easy. But I was glad that they brought those courses in the universities, because what it allowed me to do was expand my research even more, because I know they're not going to tell you everything. So you really have to do your homework. So when I saw that, I said, man, yo, I said, man, I couldn't believe it, bro. My bad. I just unblocked you, man. Yeah, man, it's all good. I know you didn't mean it. You said, Lou, you reading my mind, dog. I slick think that Mark Cuban is racist, bro. I've had conversations with my homies about him. I'm telling you, bro, that Mark Cuban, this dude gets a lot of credit, man, for turning the Mavs around. And okay, but that's basketball related. But I'm talking about that dude, to me, is kind of slick, especially when it came to this pandemic. He was one of those people that were urging for the players to get back on the court. Now, why would he was so urged to get back on the court if he really cared about these players and all these people, Mark Cuban? The things that make you say, just makes you want to think, man. You know, I don't mean to get on this player, but here's kind of like the reason that I'm going to get on him, and this is why. This is why. The reason I'm going to get on him is for this reason. Now, I know that LeBron James is an advocate on social issues. I know how a lot of people feel about him in the chat in terms of what he brings to the table. This is why I also am going to get on him and get on his neck. You know why? And this is and this is not, like I said, this is nothing personal against LeBron, but this is why I had to bring him up. The reason that I brought LeBron up is for this reason. Do y'all remember when this pandemic has started? Oh no, it's here. Yeah, I know it's gonna be here we go. Oh, Jerry Jones is another one. I can't stand him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the reason I'm getting on Braun is for this reason. This ain't about basketball. This is about racism. This is about the black community. This is about society. And I know Freddie Gee, he understands why I'm going to get on Braun's neck for this one, because I got on Braun's neck the last time during the pandemic. So here we go. Mr. LeBron James, you came out on national TV and said to yourself, after Victor Oladipo and James Harden said they would not play in front of fans, you said, I cannot play in front of a fan base. When you realized that a championship was on the line, and I said this many streams ago, you then said, if I don't win a championship, I'm not going to get any closure. I said, okay. Also, am I saying that LeBron was the only player that pushed for players to play inside the bubble? No. But who pushed for it the most? Everybody knows in the chat who pushed for it the most. That was LeBron James, because he knew about the fourth title. He knew about the fourth championship. He knew about his legacy and what it was going to mean if he got that fourth title. Now, this is why I'm going to get on Bron's neck. Kyrie Irving invited you to be part of a conference call. You denied. Everybody got on Kyrie's neck, especially Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith. Remember how people got on Dwight Howard when he was in support of Kyrie Irving. But the reason Dwight Howard was in a lose-lose situation, because he would have been criticized had he decided to not play. Because remember what happened in his tenure with the Lakers when he played with Kobe. And this time he's playing with LeBron. They would have said, oh, look how Dwight left Kobe and then he left LeBron. Dwight is such a hypocrite talking about he's trying to help the Lakers win a championship. Man, Dwight is nothing but Charmin soft. That's what they would have said. And they also would have said, damn, you prevented LeBron from winning the championship. Notice that LeBron is always the first name in that sentence. Like I said, this is not about hate. I just want people to really open their eyes. Notice that the first thing talked about is LeBron in the sentence. This ain't got nothing personal. This is not even about basketball. This is about what LeBron said himself. Y'all know that he has said that he is more than an athlete, right? Now, we fast forward to this situation, and remember, he said that he's Muhammad Ali. He wants to be Malcolm X. This is why I'm getting on Bron's neck. LeBron focused on other situations that happen outside of basketball. Remember that? Remember, guys? He didn't focus on anything that had to do with basketball. When Kyrie Irving mentioned that problem, he decided to do his job. LeBron James didn't want to be part of that conference call. The media ripped Kyrie apart, right? Then LeBron James comes out and says, oh, I can't play this game without any fans. I said, LeBron, you more than any other player in that bubble push for this. You're not the only one that's playing with no fans. Don't you think I get sick and tired of seeing those virtual fans inside that Orlando bubble? It doesn't feel the same like watching a game with fans in an arena. It's so much better and the atmosphere is so different. This is just weird. So what I'm basically trying to tell people is, how is it that LeBron James is sitting here complaining about no fans in the building when you're not the only one that's playing without fans, bro? This is the stuff I don't understand about this dude. Every time I try to find a way to respect LeBron, he says some slick, stupid shit that makes me take a backseat. And I'm like, Why? This is my problem. This is my problem. And then he talks about Bubba Wallace. He talks about all these other issues, but not even about the NBA issues inside, right? All this dude does is about corporate brand. But now we have the Jacob Blake look, and then LeBron had the nerve to put on his shoes. I don't have an issue about him putting his family. That's cool. You know, when he puts Savannah, when he puts Bronny, when he puts Bryson, when he puts Zuri. Much respect to LeBron for that. It's when he put Breonna Taylor on his shoes. I'm like, I looked at him like, bro, I can't, man. I said, bro, seriously? I keep telling LeBron, listen, it's great that you're mentioning all these social issues with Twitter fingers on Twitter, bro. But that ain't gonna cut it, man. LeBron makes millions of dollars. He's a rich black athlete. Listen, I'm not saying that LeBron didn't come from anything. I get it, man. You got to start from somewhere to get what you're at. But the fact that he keeps talking about this whole oppression, I'm not LeBron. You can't compare yourself to other people, man. There's other people who live in poor conditions than you. There's other people who have to be careful when they come outside every single day. Come on, man. I'm sorry, man. That's my thing, because the thing with LeBron is this is all about championship. This is all about championship for LeBron James. You think I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, with all due respect to LeBron, do you really think he gives a damn about the people if he really want to change? Because if he really cared, he really would have never played. LeBron tries to play both sides, like Freddie said. That's the problem. Because it's easy to say, well, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Listen, if people criticize LeBron, at least LeBron took a stand, as if to say he's not even gonna. When is LeBron gonna learn that you're not gonna be liked by everybody? Yet LeBron keeps trying to force people to like him, which is what I don't understand from him. Do you think Kobe gave a damn if you liked him or not? Kobe didn't give a damn. And what I'm saying with LeBron is, you really shouldn't give a damn neither, bro. And what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're big about social change, man, if you're big about social change, this is the perfect opportunity, LeBron. Your legacy will be pushed to greater heights, because remember, the media constantly tells you that you have the platform to speak, the platform to talk, the platform to take all of these actions. And I've gotten on Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul. I still remember that gun violence situation that they talked about at the ESPYs. Just what, 2 or 3 years ago? And all they did was just spread a message, but nothing was done about that. We still got violence and gun issues still in America. As a matter of fact, the crime rate went up. So when LeBron says, man, F that, I want change. Well, LeBron, what are you going to do about it? You're Muhammad Ali. LeBron, you got a chance to make a stand, bro. You're Muhammad Ali. Take a stand and make change. And what I'm trying to tell everybody is that LeBron has never really sacrificed, like people keep talking about that he's done. LeBron has never really sacrificed. He never has, and I don't think he's ever going to. Because let me ask y'all a question, and I'm going to go through the chat. If you honestly think, because remember, I got on Jordan too, because remember what Craig Hodges did. He told Jordan and Magic, the two biggest stars in the game, to boycott the 91 finals. Both of them said no. Both of them said no. This was the NBA finals. But what are we boycotting? It's the first round. So it has less significance, especially if you look at some of these series. The Lakers are up 3-1 on the Blazers. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that if LeBron was down 3-1 to the Portland Trail Blazers per se, you think that LeBron would be pushing for the games to kind of stop? I think he'd take that chance. Now, let's say that LeBron is one win away from reaching the NBA Finals. Do you think LeBron is gonna want to protest, uh, the shooting of a black person? He's not gonna do that. What if it was game one of the NBA Finals and the Lakers are in the finals? Do you think LeBron is going to protest? Just like MJ did back in 91, LeBron would have said, hell no, because he has a chance to win a championship. LeBron should never be in the same category. And the point that I bring that up is because he never should have said that. He never should have said that. Let me just look into the chat before I continue. All right. Anthony L said Mark Cuban's been suspect, especially when he said that he'll walk off the street if he sees a black man in baggy pants or something to that degree. He's made quite a few slick comments. Oh, I remember. I got to laugh a little bit because I said when I saw that, I realized that Mark Cuban was a phony. I'm sorry. I had to hear that. Yeah. Oh, not the king. Yeah, the king. He said that on Snoop's podcast. Yeah. He said if he sees somebody baggy, he walk off the street. So is Mark Cuban really there for the black people? Nah. Stop fronting, Mark. Mark Cuban full of it, man. Mark Cuban is full of it. LeBron is going to always be in the conversation as arguably he's the greatest basketball player ever. So why is he so worried about not getting closure? That's not going to change his place in history. Well, you have to understand something, Anthony L. We're talking about LeBron with his insecurity. That's LeBron's biggest problem when it comes to his character. It's his insecurity. He has to make sure that he gets mentioned all the time. Why do you think all of his former friends that he's played with in the NBA have a job in the media today? I'm not trying to say that LeBron is like a fake person or anything like that. It's just the way that he maneuvers himself. That's my issue that I got with him. It's like on 1 minute he's trying to act like he's true, but then he does something else. And I'm like, Bron, you got to stop being two sides out of your mouth, man. You got to stop being two sides out of your mouth. Now, when it comes to basketball and style of play, LeBron is certainly not trying to be MJ. He's trying to be the one and only LeBron James because he's only played one way for 17 years. If he really wanted to play like Mike, he would try to do everything. The thing with LeBron is he stalks MJ because LeBron wears 23 and the man is doing Space Jam 2. Let that sink in. In fact, if he grew a bigger spine and take a stance now, this will actually enhance his legacy to even greater heights. You can't even be afraid of change. Damn, he said a replica, kind of like the replica bats that you'll be getting at the at baseball games. Facts, Jay. All that Bron says and do is about corporate branding, man. He's no social justice warrior. But that's what I'm saying, man, because a lot of the other guys have actually stood up for the fight. There's like, well, LeBron doesn't have to do this. Here's the thing. If LeBron never said that he was a Malcolm X or Muhammad Ali, I would leave LeBron alone for that. The problem is he said that. When you say stuff like that, you got to live up to it, bro. LeBron will have an issue if he can't have a chance to win a championship. Oh, yeah. Lewis, yep, we talked about this on a live way before the bubble. Oh, yeah, and this is why I'm bringing it now, Jay. This is what I'm saying. I'm telling you, LeBron in the back of his mind is saying to himself, yeah, I'll comply right now, but I don't want this to be long enough to where it affects me from when the season gets canceled and I don't get a chance to win a championship because I told you, all those players that are out injured are going to be back. And teams are going to be major players coming into the next season. Because remember, next season starts December 1st. LeBron is, I'm telling you, man, the league will have a meeting tomorrow. I get the feeling Bron just wants everybody to like him, but even Jesus had haters, man. You can't please everybody. Exactly. Some people will like us and some won't. I don't care about who wins the championship. I will acknowledge that Bron will benefit the most if he wins a ring this year. It's gonna benefit him. But MJ want credit for doing stuff behind the scenes. MJ was spineless in front of the camera, but at least he supported his people at the end of the day. Listen, man, I'm gonna say this right now. Remember when I came up with that live and I said Jordan and LeBron are the two most sensitive people I've ever seen because I told y'all, listen, I love MJ, man. When it comes to basketball, as a person, that dude is a narcissist. He's a narcissist like LeBron. Maybe different style of narcissist, but a narcissist nonetheless. My thing is also LeBron keeps saying that he doesn't care what anybody thinks, but he's always posting. He's always putting cryptic tweets. He's always trying to say the right things. And then when he slips up, then he tries to change the conversation. Bro, that's the problem. He's trying to. Facts, Jay. Agreed. It's a lot of stuff that Jordan did behind the scenes that I didn't even know about. Yeah, he did a lot behind the scenes. The thing is, Jordan never publicized what he did behind the scenes. And the thing is, he was very image conscious. We saw that in The Last Dance. And if people who are saying Jordan was not image conscious, like, trust me, Jordan had to play the picture. But Jordan has said that from day one. He cannot stand the media. He said it. LeBron should never, ever be put in the same category as Ali. Ali literally had his freedom taken away for standing up for what he believed in, an extreme insult to mention him in the same breath. Oh, no, well, the Harvey Gantt situation, she made him donate. Jordan did not want to do that. And I understand if he didn't want to do it, but he ended up donating anyway. But the thing is, I felt like he did that to please his mom, and that's my thing. You could tell Jordan was a mama's boy, but he didn't have to do it because at that point, Jordan, you're a grown man. So if you don't want to donate to somebody you don't know, you should have not done it. Jordan almost went with Adidas, but his mom said no, go to Nike. Dad said go to Nike. Steven Jackson is another. I'm sorry, man. Steven Jackson, he's another dude that plays both sides. I can't take him serious. At first, I was always like, yo, Captain Jack keeping it real, this and that. It depends on what the situation is where Steven Jack is telling the truth. But on the real, Steven Jackson plays to the narrative. He's another one. A lot of people have thin skin, but as athletes who are in the public eye, you have to let a lot of this negative stuff roll off your back. For real. Facts. But Ali did some crazy stuff for the camera too. Colin Frazier. Oh, yeah. He did that. That's true. That's very true. Ali was hated. He did a lot of stuff in the camera. Cap can't still be the voice today, man. He won't last forever. Today's time need multiple. Yeah, that's my thing, man. I was saying to myself, Space Jam 2, like LeBron couldn't even leave that alone. True, but at least Ali was never afraid to speak his mind. It's true. Ali would always talk about his blackness all the time on TV. All the time on TV. It's the truth. That was Ali's tactics, bro. He always did that to his opponents. He did. All right, so let me finish getting on LeBron real quick. No, MJ, yeah, the thing is, like I said, MJ was not about telling people, oh, hey, look at me, look what I did. He was never like that. He did everything privately. He didn't publicize. Like I said with y'all, man, look, Michael Jordan donated $1 million for the movie Malcolm X. Him, Magic Johnson, Oprah Winfrey, like they donated $1 million for that movie to be made. That's something that doesn't get talked about. That movie, I think, came out in theaters in 1992, I believe. The Malcolm X film that starred Denzel Washington. And there's a picture. I think I have it in my phone. Oh, chill. Like Mike 3, chill, 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 Jermaine. You wilding with that one, man. But anyway, getting back to LeBron real quick. You can't push for a bubble and then all of a sudden now you kind of want to back out because it's not fair that you're not playing without fans in the building. Like, listen, Paul George came out and said it was weird, but Paul George also said that he was dealing with anxiety issues. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But at least he admitted it. DeMar DeRozan came out and admitted it. So did Kevin Love. They deal with those kind of things. That's not easy to deal with. It's not easy to deal with. It's not. Now, I don't know what Paul George meant by being in a dark place. One can only speculate. But at least he brought a real life issue that was obviously something that was bothering him, and he decided to bring it to light. You know, Simone Birch too. Can't touch a classic like that. LeBron and Simon Birch too. Anthony L, you funny, bro. MJ also donated his Wizards check to the 9/11 victims of tragedy. Yeah, he donated $1 million from his Wizard salary to the victims of 9/11. That's something that doesn't really get talked about enough. Also, mental health is a big issue in America, and especially in the Black community. Man, it needs to be addressed more. Yeah. All right, man. So let me take off. Let me take off this for a little bit. Got to see my faces, y'all, because I'm telling you, man. At this point, it's getting it's getting real bad out here, and I think people need to start paying attention. So LeBron James, I'm looking at you right now, man, and I'm telling you this, bro. What you need to do, if you don't care about this championship, which I doubt, because I know you care so much, what you need to do is you need to stand with the players. Because remember, when the Celtics and the Raptors, when they talked about it, then Milwaukee said we're not going to do that. Then all the other teams started to come in. LeBron is saying that, F this, man, we demand change. Dude, if you're demanding change, then you got to be in the front lines. Because remember also, when the protests were going on with George Floyd, you were in Sunnyside, LA with J.R. Smith and what was it, Anthony Davis on a bike ride on a Sunday morning while all these loots and all these protests were going on. All these other NBA players were protesting. Russell Westbrook is a superstar in this league, and he went out and protested. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Aisha Curry, all in the fire. And where was you at? Taking a bike ride in the morning. That the stuff that just makes you think, and I'm just saying to myself, man, I said, Bron, you want everybody to like you, but you keep doing things that make people kind of question your integrity, bro. That's not cool. You're a great player. But now it's time for you to put up or shut up when it comes to social justice, and it's always about a Twitter account. I'm telling you, when it comes to LeBron, let this be a couple days, because I'm telling you, he's going to be devastated if he finds out that there's no NBA season. Because right now, it's probably going to be put on pause. There's going to be a meeting. But I'm telling you, behind the scenes, LeBron is saying to himself, he's praying to God that this season doesn't get canceled. Because I said before, it's probably his last shot to win a championship. Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about for the um I forgot what you were saying, Jermaine, about trying to think what you were saying about. Are you talking about like the times that he struggled in those 3 games and stuff like that? I'm guessing. The ball is in your court. I'm just wondering what that dude is gonna do, man. I'm wondering. It's like I said, man. Like I said, I'm trying to find a way to. When LeBron first came to Cleveland, I had a lot of respect for Bron. Bron was one of my favorite. He was actually one of my favorite players when he was young. Said all the right things. The thing is that as the years went by, I've gotten to learn more about LeBron and some of the things that he's kind of done. And I'm saying to myself, man. And then it's like when I think, I'm like, okay, kudos to LeBron for mentioning these social issues, but it's like a lot of these players out here are breaking their backs, and you're just sitting, you're chilling, you're typing on Twitter, whether on your phone, on your computer, whatever it is, and letting people know about it. But But it's like that's just not enough, bro. And then you're being part of the corporate branding, just wearing all these shirts. Like, what is that doing? I just don't get it. I really don't understand it, man. You the man watching this on my you the man watching this. Dan, you watching me on 4K OLED? I feel special now. Yo, that's crazy. Dan, you got Lou Sports Network on 4K, man. Yo, that's crazy. LeBron has two black sons that he has to worry about from now until his casket drops, man. F a fourth ring at 35 right now, man. You said you was more than an athlete. Now it's time to see. That's my thing that I'm worried about. He has kids. He has a baby girl too. That's only what 4 or 5 years old in Zuri. You know, he's got two black sons that you know they're gonna be dealing with this type of thing at some point in their lives. Like, who knows if they dealt with it, you know, during their time, you know, while they're still growing. You know, that's the only thing that I'm saying. Like, that's the stuff that you got to think about, man. Yo, Anthony L, man, you speaking facts, bro. Like, what that's telling me, I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't care about his kids, because I know he loves his kids dearly. But if you see what's going on in society, LeBron, and the first thing you're thinking about is a championship when you got a family, because LeBron has gone on constant interviews, guys, during the bubble, during the season, like many years as time's gone by with a lot of deaths of a lot of these, like, you know, common blacks, uh, you know, um, all these incidents with all these black people in the last, for how long it's happened. And he's talked about a championship. And I keep looking at Bron and I'm asking myself, dude, you need to watch what you say. Allen Iverson told you this a long time ago. Look at Allen Iverson's career. He said they're going to love you at one point, and then at some point they're going to hate you. You're going to be hated. But LeBron's too insecure to understand and have thick skin that you are not going to be loved by everybody. Because you got to ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the media is the ultimate enemy. And LeBron puts the foreclosure on the signatures. All of his former teammates, they've been out there. They have jobs on these social media platforms. They've talked about how great he is time and time and time again. I told you, how many 2 for $20 deals from Applebee's is LeBron giving these dudes? I told y'all in that interview that he had with Richard Jefferson during the pandemic on the podcast, right before the Last Dance came out. What did he tell Richard Jefferson? He said, "Oh, blank can't fire you because you're my friend." Y'all remember that? Once you hear that alone already says it right there. Oh, Jay, don't tell me that. Oh man, don't tell me that. The Tigers are playing, bruh. Oh yeah, okay. I got you. I got you, Jermaine. Okay, yeah, those other games, yeah. He listen. Those are no excuses. Paul George, he messed up. I know he wants to have one good game and then mention about what he's been going through in the bubble. I understand it, man. I don't know what's going on Paul George's mind. I get it, but still. Shout out to Edwin. He says, "Yo, was Kyrie right?" Yeah, I'm gonna tell you in a second. Yeah, Kyrie was right, Edwin. He was right. He was right. Faithful baller. Shout out to you. He says, "I didn't even know about this, but why was the box? Oh, I think you meant the Bucks. No. So, so what happened is that Jacob Blake, uh, you know, he got shot 7 times in the back in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin. What happened was he got shot in the back 7 times, trying to get into his car. He got shot in front of his 3 kids, and he's paralyzed. He can't walk anymore. So the Bucks, the reason that they're not playing is because of what happened. And Mike Budenholzer, the coach of the Bucks, he talked about it. He talked about it when Giannis got his Defensive Player of the Year award, and the Bucks decided that they were not going to play. The Magic, they were going to play that game. The problem is when they found out that the Milwaukee Bucks were not going to come out, they went to the locker room. And then CP3 and Russ, they met before the 6:30 game between OKC and Houston. That was the game that I was supposed to do. And they decided to cancel the game and boycott. And then the Lakers and the Blazers, they followed suit and they decided to not play neither, to boycott. And what I'm telling everybody is, if the players play again, and I've said this in the chat, I said it in the beginning, if they play again, they're a bunch of hypocrites. That means that nothing's ever going to change. Sports is just a distraction. It's, yay, man, we see sports. Listen, I love sports too. I love sports too. I said, I love sports. I know a lot of you guys love sports, but it's about the human beings first. Okay, so Jacob Blake, I don't know if he complied with police, but was it necessary to shoot a man in the back? And it's not just to shoot a man in the back. You shot him 7 times. I'm surprised that he's still alive. That's number one. But those 7 shots cost him his chance to walk again. And that ain't cool. That's not even cool, man. Everything done in the dark will eventually come to light, and 2020 is exposing everything because, like I've always said, 2020 is the year of clear vision. 2020 is clear vision. Cubs and the Tigers. Why were they the Bucks the first team to sit out? Yeah, just mentioned it. Wow, and the Tigers are playing, and it's 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th over the Cubs. Even Kenny Smith walked out of that TNT show. Yeah, I saw that. I've never seen Kenny that uncomfortable that he got up. He took off the listen, Charles and Shaq, I get that they had to, they got a show to do and all that. And Ernie kind of seemed a little pissed for me. I don't know. There's just something about that he didn't kind of seem too happy about, but he's like, I respect. I kind of thought Shaq and Chuck really should have followed suit because if you look at Shaq, you know how Shaq is with the media. You know how big Shaq was at one point in his life. When he played in the NBA, when he was in Orlando, and then obviously when he was in LA. Shaq could have even made that message too. Ernie, to me, didn't look too happy about it. That's why I'm just kind of like, LeBron and family won't have the same issues as another. In the past, security detail from the arena to the car is mostly. Oh no, that's what and that's my point in mentioning that. Even if he's got a family, they're not going. It's true. They're going to have the same issues, man. Alistair, well, salute to you, first of all, but we can't be talking about basketball. Forget about Damian Lillard. Forget about the knee injury. Again, much respect to him. I hope he makes a full recovery, but this ain't about that, bro. This ain't about that. We need to not worry about Damian Lillard, his knee injury, and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I hope he makes a full recovery. But this is bigger than that. This is much bigger than that. No, that game isn't going to happen. Those games got postponed. And tomorrow's game got postponed. I just don't like the fact that it was reported saying that the Celtics and the Raptors might not play. I'm like, but you guys brought this up. So if the 3 teams that play today postpone their games, you guys got to postpone too, because it's going to look it's going to look suspect if they cancel, but you guys play. Especially because Fred VanVleet opened his mouth and said he didn't feel comfortable being there. Yeah. Thank you, Anthony L, for bringing that up, man. Shaq was promoting that same funky Papa John's, man, when the CEO used the N-word. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. They need to know if the Celtics and Raptors decide to play, they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. Fred VanVleet is also going to look like a hypocrite too because he was the one talking. At least when George Hill spoke, the Bucks took action at the very least. Like I said, I don't know how far this is gonna go, but hopefully this is gonna lead to something. But if it don't, I'm telling y'all now, the NBA is probably not gonna be that watchable anymore. Everybody's just gonna be just saying, "Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, just we're glad sports is back." What I don't want to happen with this is another riot to ensue. And that's what I said. Because people could take advantage of this right now. Who knows if other countries start to you know, to start to want justice and peace for Jacob Blake. I'm telling you, if we have another George Floyd situation, this is not going to be good. Ernie was pissed. Ernie was pissed. And you could see it in his face when Kenny decided to walk off. Ernie was not happy. I peeped that from Ernie. And like I said before, Chris Webber just made an emotional speech just now. And he was comparing it to what happened with Colin Kaepernick when he first kneeled. Exactly. If they resume the season, it will be like if nothing ever happened. Exactly, Edwin. Exactly. If they decided to resume the season, it would be like if nothing happened. Then you have to ask, why did you do this? What did you do this for? What was the point of doing this? And like I said, I get that Shaq and Chuck decided not to do it, but if I was Shaq and Chuck, I would have. Especially with some of the comments that Chuck be making sometimes. Especially because he'll talk about it, but sometimes he kind of buck dances when it comes to the whole racism thing. I've heard Chuck say some outlandish things over the years, and some of it he speaks truth, and then other times he buck dances. If you've known Chuck long enough. But Shaq is part of the problem too. I'm telling you, man. No, if they play, this is all propaganda. If that's what they play. And Anthony L says that's why the NBA shouldn't use the term postponed instead of canceled indefinitely. Duality says they shout out to Duality. Hope everything is good with you. Yeah, that was a PR stunt. They brought Shaq. Oh, chill. You trying to say Shaq is Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z? Yo, yeah, you wilding with that. He said they brought Shaq in after the Papa John's CEO used the N word, giving him the lucrative stock options. And Anthony L says that's why the NBA shouldn't use the term postponed instead of canceled indefinitely. And like I said, man, for those who don't know, baseball teams like the Mariners and Padres game got postponed. Some baseball teams are protesting for this. Like I said, I don't want this to turn to a thing where all of a sudden the entire world is starting to want justice for for Jacob Blake. It's like they decide to be opportunists for somebody they don't even know. So when I see something like that, it just makes me cringe when I'm seeing people around the world are doing it when it's like you never knew the person. So why? I'm not saying that something could upset you, but upset you to the point that even you riot and you're not even around. Yeah, what do you think is going to happen? I'm surprised that the league waited till today to boycott while the shooting happened on Sunday. G Money. That's a very interesting point you just made. Very interesting. It's funny how this happened 3 days ago and the NBA decided to do this 3 days later. That's true. People talk about the NBA about affirmative action, but it probably might have been that they wanted to get to know the facts before they start the boycott. But I've kind of heard it all about it before, man. That's interesting. I wonder why they waited 3 days after. That's a good question, G Money. I'm wondering that myself. That's a very good question. I didn't even think about that. It happened on Sunday, but they're protesting on Wednesday. Don't know what Kenny did his voice and should, but Ernie's different. Much of the talent is there because of Ernie, including Kenny. No, I understand that. I don't know. No, Kenny was pretty. Kenny was pretty like just about upset about the whole thing. He doesn't know how to explain it. He said that he was very angry about what happened, and so he really couldn't explain it into words. I just said that the look on Ernie's face that he made when Kenny kind of walked. Ernie said he respected it, but Ernie did not look too happy that Kenny kind of walked off. It's kind of like, are you like trying to really like stop the show and stuff like that? And it's just like, I was like, well, maybe Kenny saw something important, something that was important, and he spoke his mind and decided to walk. I mean, you still have Shaq and Chuck there because they didn't leave. So Duality says it was all PR, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Anonymous says I had to slide back this way, man. Everybody else is complaining about what they're gonna do for content. Yeah, man. Look, the thing is, man, when it comes to me, I always find a way to try to create content. If I see a story, if I see an idea, something like that. True YouTubers know how to create content. Basically, they could basically find something out of nothing. When you're dependent on something and you don't obviously appear for a while, and like I said, every YouTuber is different, so they're always gonna you always got to find what your niche is. But I can always come up with something. I can always do trivia. I could talk about something about football. I could talk about something about baseball. Like I can always come with ideas, get you guys involved. And I haven't done that in a while just because of, obviously these bubble games. But I don't know how long this is gonna last. What I will say is it's not gonna stop me from doing content. I'm just gonna do some other things. I might do another one of these. I'm actually gonna do another one of these. Social injustice type of live streams. I would like to get Anthony L, Jay, Duality, Jermaine, Kid Glory. Shout out to Kid if you're out there. Hopefully everything is good with you. And guys, get to put their input because again, this is something that I want to give people opportunity, like I said, to speak their mind, to give their opinion. We learn from each other whether we agree or disagree. Freddie Gee. So listen, what Doc Rivers, I've never seen Doc that emotional when he went and just said what he said last night after the win. Oh no, Popo meaning the police. Yeah, oh no, I know. I just thought of Popo Dragon Ball Z character. That's what it is. I'm glad you mentioned that, Alistair, because this is another thing that what this is all about too. The elections are coming up. Probably. I would not be shocked if the games resume and it would just be like all other protests and things of that nature. I won't be shocked neither. I'm just saying that it's going to look, I'm telling you. I think they should boycott Breonna Taylor. I only rock with Ernie and Shaq. Kenny and Chuck have been kind of dead to me. People who can't create content like our amateurs. I also think the players just had to wait a few days to see if anything happened to the officer before they reacted. I think so too. It's an interesting question, but like I said, again, you just got to kind of find out all the facts. LeBron kept going because he wants a championship. Doc speaks on it, whatever it is. That's Doc since his playing days. True. We'll help you with content, Will Lewis. You're doing a great job. Appreciate that. Listen, man, you guys are more than welcome to give me ideas and stuff like that. And Duality just gave me a good one. Check out History No Chasers channel. Look for his 1994 Home Run Derby photo. I think you can make content relating to the photo. Oh, shoot. I gotta think about that. Shaq low key as dark as Mr. Popo. Yo, for real. He's just a taller version. I saw that Russ and CP3 was walking together into the arena and they was talking about it. Yeah, they came together and they decided that they should boycott the game. And I know you was excited for your Thunder, Karam, and I was going to do the game. But it didn't happen. And like I said, I'm going to create more content. I thought I had a little bit of water with essential left, but empty bottle. I got another one inside the fridge. But like I said, I want to do more of this. It's crazy to me that we got these sports figures And we're still back at square one. Every single time when an issue gets mentioned, we're always back at square one. What's up with Doc, man? How does he coach PG after Paul cheated on his daughter? Well, the whole Paul cheated on his daughter thing happened years ago. Actually, this happened, I think this might have been his last year or the year before when he was in Indiana. Because by that point he was with the stripper by that point, his girl that he's with currently now. You know, the Instagram model. Jay says they headed it up for the rest of the teams to boycott too. I was wondering if there was an issue with Paul George and Doc, considering how maybe Doc PG was playing and that issue was brought up. Because we got fools like Kendrick Perkins ripping all these other players, but then he'll say that he's down for his black brothers. Yeah, I never see you. Yeah, why aren't you at the bubble if you're so-called with them? But you're criticizing. It looks like I'm back. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. I know, man, but it's still, you got a stripper pregnant like on my, I get it, man, but that was wild. But it shows it shows that it's business now. No time for personal feelings. If I'm Doc, I let the assistant coaches talk to him. I mean, yeah, you could. But yeah, that's the first time in a while that I haven't used that I had not used any of my intros or my outros, and it's because it was something serious, so they canceled the games. It's crazy out here, man. Because right now, I'm gonna show you what it says on my shirt. This is what society and all these brass rings and this American dream is about. It's right here. Chasing a mirage. That's what it says on the shirt. Chasing a mirage. That's what it's about. I mean, quite honestly, man, Doc and Paul George at some point, they're gonna have to talk about it, obviously. Doc let his son get traded and is coaching his daughter's cheating ex-boyfriend. Yeah, it's a crazy situation, man. No, I appreciate it, but yeah, I just wanted to show that message on that shirt because this is what we're doing right now. It's chasing a mirage. That's what's going on. Jermaine says, how Perk riding for Braun so much after all the battles he had with him being a former cell, but then he going diss KD. Oh, simple. KD made a decision. KD made a decision. Remember when I said that Braun was going from he went from Cleveland to Miami back to Cleveland. LeBron thought that he was going to benefit the most from being able to go to every single team as a free agent. When Kevin Durant did the same thing that he did, especially going to the team that he had just lost to, everything changed. Everything changed. The media was constantly saying that there's no way that KD's going to beat LeBron, the Warriors making it, Nick Wright. If you go back to what he has said all of 2016 and 2017, he said that the Cavaliers were going to beat the Warriors. After the Warriors beat them in a gentleman's sweep, it was nothing but excuses after that. Yeah, Kendrick and KD were actual teammates. And Kendrick, who was an enemy of LeBron, But people don't know they were AAU teammates back in 8th grade. But then Kendrick Perkins went to Cleveland and was with LeBron the last 4 seasons of his career. And how did he get a job on TV and talks and praises LeBron so high and mighty, but disrespects Kevin Durant, a former teammate? Kendrick Perkins talks to KD like if he was a more impactful player than he was. I'm surprised that the NHL are still going on despite the. Yeah, but yeah, he's a banjo playing dude, man. Yeah, he meant to say I'm not surprised. No, that's not surprised. I'm not surprised that they're still going on. There's no surprise right there. All right, guys. I just wanted to bring forth this obviously about the news about the NBA canceling games. I do know about what's his face? Nate McMillan getting fired from Indiana. I don't know how people feel about that. Well, not everybody watches that. We already touched on that because you can't tell me Nick Wright isn't getting dog walked in a debate with Lewis, man. Washed out of discussion. Trust me, I could expose him so easy. Listen, I can expose him blindfolded, 2 hands tied behind my back, with my head dipped in a bowl of water, trying to get apples coming out. It's easy with Nick Wright. He's child's play. Here's what I'm gonna say this about Nate McMillan, because I'm gonna revert it a little bit back to the NBA just for a little bit. Nate McMillan, I get that he was 3-16 as a coach in the playoffs, but you have to understand something when you put things in the proper context. He had to deal with a difficult situation with Paul George in Paul George's last year. 2017, they get swept. Paul George demanded a trade. 2018, they take the LeBron's Cavs to 7 games in the first round. The very next year, Victor Oladipo gets injured. And then the final year, Sabonis makes an all-star team, but then he gets injured with plantar fasciitis. Jeremy Lamb is out with ACL. They had Miles Turner missed a lot of time. Malcolm Brogdon missed a lot of time. Victor Oladipo didn't come until late, February, early March. And then even with the 4 months off, he still had to work himself back. And TJ Warren really didn't start playing well until late, kind of like right before the pandemic started. And then he played great in the bubble, and then he struggled against the Miami Heat. So, yeah, he may have been swept in 3 of the last 4 years, but when you put things in the proper context, he did all he could with that team. He did everything he could with that team. Indy just had a lot of bad luck. They had a lot of bad luck. I've never seen Nate McMillan be able to coach a team at full strength. That's what's happened with Indiana. Remember, also, they lost Bogdan Bogdanovic. They lost Boban. To who? Utah. Yeah, they're not gonna stop. What I don't understand is, why is Mike D'Antoni being considered for the Indiana Pacers job already? Is that saying that he possibly might get fired by the Houston Rockets, as if the Houston Rockets are not going to, go far in the playoffs and try to win a championship? Because that's what that's telling me, especially if Nate McMillan just got fired so easy like that. I don't know about NBA Finals contender. Possibly Eastern Conference Finals, maybe, but Finals contender, no. I don't think Indy was ready for that stage yet. The Pacers, yeah, they don't really have a true superstar. They really did overachieve. Victor Oladipo is an all-star, but he's not a superstar. Yeah, he's a very talented R&B singer, but he's not a superstar. And the only player that you can really make the case as a borderline superstar right now is Kyrie Irving, with the combination of his game and personality. Unless the writers are going to try to control everything, then won't be able to do that. But it's kind of a point. Yeah, they don't really have a lot of firepower. It's true. I wouldn't put them over the other East powerhouses, man, but they were decent. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, when you have Boston, when you have Toronto, when you have Milwaukee, hell, the Miami Heat who they just lost to. I can't put the Pacers over those teams. And then if you get KD and Kyrie back, I don't even think they're better than the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets are deep. So that's why I said that I don't think the Pacers would be a finals contender, because they would have to be better than all those teams, or at least in the conversation with those teams to win the East crown. Yep, it was all about the playoff exits. That's why 3 sweeps in 4 years is what did him in. But he did the best he could. When you put things into proper context, I don't think Nate McMillan deserved to get fired. I will say though, what kind of cost him a little bit also was kind of been his in 2018. Some of his coaching was questionable in those close games. But like I said, he did the best he could with that Pacers team. He had a winning record with them. Yeah, I think Antoni's on his way out. I think he wants to coach the team the way that he wants to. So that's why I think the Indiana Pacers are going to probably get, his stake. And trust me, that tells me that the Houston Rockets are possibly not going to go far. And then next, guess what? Daryl Morey's going to be gone too. I have a funny feeling, for some reason, I have a funny feeling that next year is probably going to be Brooklyn Nets against the Los Angeles Clippers in the 2020 NBA Finals. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to close it for tonight. Salute to everybody in the chat. You guys kept it lit. I appreciate, all of you guys talking. This was a wonderful stream. Again, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, to the Lewis Sports Network. Make sure to share on your social media platforms. This was a much needed conversation that I decided to bring. It started with the canceling of teams. We brought it to social issues like we do on this platform. Everybody got to speak their mind. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I want to do more of these, get you guys in here so you guys continue to speak, because you guys are all very knowledgeable here. You guys have intelligent minds. Continue to use those brilliant minds, man, to do things for yourselves. God bless you guys. To the brothers and sisters out here, for the ones that were not able to be here, to all the brothers in the chat that are here. Again, salute to you. You guys, appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody, like I said, of all kinds. It's about what you bring to the table. It's not about skin color. It's about intelligence. It's about personality. That's what's most important. That's how you judge a person. It's not about, once you start judging a person by the color of their skin, that's when narratives begin. That's how the conversations always turn. When it should be what you should really truly be judging a person for, but then you turn it around and judge them off of something else. You find a reason to be judgmental when there was really no need to be. So basically, you created controversy for no reason, just to start something, to play a victim. And I don't like that. Conversations should be made to educate and to learn, not to create victimization. Because you don't know a person, but it's like you're creating fear because of the unknown. Especially when you've never seen this unknown before in this person. For what? Another one in the books, another educated lesson that I've learned from everybody in the chat, and hope that you guys have learned from me as well. Again, it's about mutual respect, learning from each other inside this chat. That's how we learn and grow together. It's crazy. It almost makes you feel like, man, this be the type of community that This is the type of community that I want to be a part of, that I enjoy talking to, because we got true educators out here, in these streets. We continue to have conversations. Like I said, if you think I'm stopping here, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. But again, salute to all of you guys in the chat. Hope you guys had a wonderful time being here. You guys were awesome as always. Again, from the Lewis Sports Network, as Ryan always likes to say, we chat together, we stream together, we are family for life. Salute to everybody in the chat, as I always continue to say. Have a wonderful night. We'll be back on tomorrow. Whatever content I decide to put on, make sure y'all be here. But anyway, from the Lewis Sports Network, man. First time y'all seen this in a while. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. 3 L's in life. And make sure y'all follow the new motto, as I always like to say now, that I'm going to say now. ERI, baby. Educate, research, invest. Lewis's ERI plan, man. Salute to all of y'all. Have a wonderful night. We'll be back on the next one. Deuces, everybody. Take care.